Greetings! Welcome to this week's Prime Insight. My name is Gavin, I'm the Marketing Director here at BlastOne. Water blasting or pressure washing has become a very popular and effective means of surface cleaning. But high pressure water can be very dangerous and often underestimated. Professional water blasting equipment can easily double the pressure of consumer equipment. There is plenty to be cautious about. Even more dangerous than what we're talking about today is ultra high pressure water blasting, which begins at 29,000 psi or 2,000 bar. So today's insight, we're going to be discussing 3 dangers to avoid when water blasting. The first is to make sure that the pressure rating of the hose, fittings and lance can handle the output of the pump. Both the hose and the lance will have their respective pressure ratings printed on them, so double check to make sure they're equal to or greater than the pressure rating of the pump you're using. For our second tip, here's Kerry Cooper, BlastOne's master technician, and he'll explain a couple more issues with the hose and lance.
Because these hoses are like a hydraulic hose, they've got a wire braid around them with an internal line-on lining, and then you've got the swaging or the wrap on the outside of them. So it's important to remember, I can't crimp this hose. If I put a crimp in it, it's deemed unsafe and has to be removed from site, cut and put in the rubbish bin. If there's any abrasions, significant nicks out of the hose, again it's deemed inoperable and removed from the machine. If you manage to bend this lance, a small bend, a minor radius, it's deemed unsafe, primarily because this will be 316 tube, and because 316 is not a pliable metal, if you bend it too much, you undermine its integral wall strength, and again, there could be an accident or incident. So if you bend them, you need to replace them.
In last week's insight, we discussed the dangers of accidentally injecting yourself with paint from an airless spray gun. You may think that an accidental injection with water can't be that bad. It's just water. So, here's Kerry Cooper again to address that myth.
So what's the consequence of a water injection? Well, just say, for example, I did shoot myself or hit myself in the foot or the leg or the finger. Oh, well, it doesn't matter, there's no blood coming out. To be quite honest with you, that's worse, because there's no blood coming out. That means that it's been a massive impregnation of water within my skin. So I've actually just injected myself. That's a serious injury. Because we use potable water, it doesn't mean that all the microorganisms within the water have been removed because I've got a filter on there. I've actually injected water into my skin that's got these microorganisms in them that can spread through my body relatively quickly. So the hazard is quite substantial. So if I inject myself or hit myself on any part of my body, again, that's treated like a snake bite. So it has a pressure bandage and straight off to the hospital. So you need to tell them and inform them that I've just injected myself with high pressure water. That's a serious injury and it must be dealt with immediately. So remember, a pressure bandage on whichever part of the body you've hit, contact to the ambulance or the emergency services and alert them to what you've just done, irrespective of how minor you think that damage is. So if you follow that procedure, and hopefully you never need to, you've got a good chance of surviving that particular injury.
Thanks for watching this week's Prime Insight. See you next week.